it got stopped because of the fact how you're kind of
you need options.
Basically a bit more options, a bit more competition within that market. And I was like,
it's understandable. Certain things. Otherwise, I mean, if there was one mobile phone contract, could you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. They would just charge a crazy price and you wouldn't have a choice what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know? That's just not okay.
No, it wouldn't be okay, but it's because a lot of people don't know about glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine that you own Specsavers and any new shop that comes out, it's just your subsidiary company.
That's amazing.
Like glasses. So technically, all glasses should be the same price, but it's just that they know that people are willing to pay this money for a name brand, so they can charge the money for it.
That's a fair point. Because then you get all these different, like, the name ones like the Calvin Kleins, the Pradas, and whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So even what else was there? What do you think about Brexit?
Oh man, that, you know, as a young person in London, right, that whole period of when it was the build up to the election was probably the most active and engaged I've ever been in politics. And to an extent I've half continued that, probably not as strong as I should have. But I remember just being enthralled in the whole atmosphere and understanding of will we stay, will we go, and wherever. And but I voted to stay. Right. However, you know, the majority, even if it's a small majority, voted for us to leave. I'm surprised that it's taken so long for us to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like,
this is what I wanted to talk about.
For me, regardless of I agree with the decision or not or whatever, I think you got to honour the decision that was made by the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
Yes, it may affect us in a negative way, it may not affect us in the best way possible, but we have to trust the public as an overall whole, which decided that, you know what, and it may have just been my small bit, so what? The fact that we haven't followed it through, and I know there's different provisions that we have to go through and there's been different obstacles to face, but I don't know if it's done with a clean, pure heart to say yes, but do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like that from the outside and looking in.
It feels like, I don't know, especially in England only, because I know that my mum was telling me about how in Scotland, when Brexit first came out, instead of straight away having the referendum, they had a year period where they were kind of talking about within the schools, within the universities, what it meant for us to leave or stay within the EU, and then they had their referendums. Whereas in England, it feels like one day they told us suddenly Brexit was going to happen.
Basically,
then there was a referendum and they were like, vote.
I think, you know what, right? There's a few things that shocked me right now. I think, one, the fact that David Cameron offered the referendum.
Yeah.
Two, I thought he took the easy way out by standing down, actually. What I mean by that is, you know, I remember him saying that regardless of what happens, I will see this through.
Yeah.
And then when he lost, he's like, I don't think I'm the best person to do it because my heart wasn't in it. Because I understand your heart wasn't in it, but you put us in this position anyway, where you've got half the country divided.
Exactly.
You know, one side and the other, like families divided, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People feeling racially abused or unwelcome.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You put us in that position to an extent and created it. I think something's got to be done. I mean, I know there's been rumours of a second referendum.
What do you think about that? Do you think we should have a second referendum? Because I don't, personally. As much as maybe we should, I don't think we should.
So, I think... I don't think it'd be fair to have a second referendum.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's where my heart's at. Like, I don't think it's fair to have a second referendum because we haven't done what the country's already done on the first referendum.
Yeah.
Right? However, I think that if we was to have a second referendum, the result potentially might be different.
Potentially, but then if we have a second referendum for just the EU vote, what else can we have a second referendum and second vote about? You know, second precedent. Yeah, it does.
It's a really bad precedent.
We better recall. There's so much stuff I want to recall. Then if we're gonna have a second vote on the referendum. You know what I mean? Like,
I think. Well, and it's such a good point. Like the precedent sets, and I don't know. It looks so bad. Oh, we couldn't follow through with the first one. So like, you know, and it almost feels like, because it's kind of made clear that a lot of members in government didn't want to leave, right?
Yeah.
If we call this second referendum and then we win, it's like, oh well, this is what the people want now, so we've got to stay. It's like, nah, come on, man. And listen, I voted for us to stay. Yeah?
So did I.
But however, like, I also believe in democracy and like fairness, and everyone's entitled to a vote.
Yeah.
Like, and I would hate for that, you know, on the return that was done to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're told, listen, you can make a difference with your opinion, with your vote, which I believe every vote did make a difference because it was so close. And then you're told now, look, it doesn't matter now.
The other reason why they want to do a second referendum is because the people who were 16 and not able to vote are now 18. So it gives them now a chance to vote on their future. But maybe...
But you can always say that about everyone, though. You can say about the next 16-year-olds and the next 16-year-olds.
But from origin, they should just do that. I don't think the voting age should be 16 or 18. Maybe it should start at 16. Because for a lot of people at 16, if you don't go on to further education, that's where you leave school.
Yeah, for real.
So you're now making decisions for your life as an adult in the future at that stage. So
this is the thing, right? Like, I've got no problem with the age being moved to 16.
Yeah.
However, I then, on the flip side, think more needs to be done to get young people involved in politics or
and
understanding
education about it.
And I think it should happen in schools.
Yes,
that's where they are most of the
100%.
time. Because if you ask a 16-year-old, or maybe not an average, I don't want to say an average 16-year-old because obviously there's extremely intelligent young people, but to an extent, some of them will only have ever heard Labour and Conservative and Brexit. Those three words. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
True.
And that's no discredit to them. It's just maybe the environment they've grown up in. They've not been surrounded. They've not been involved in anything around politics. So if we're going to start changing it, we have to, across the whole, make them more aware of what's actually going on in their country and how it actually affects them.
Exactly.
Not just, you know, oh, I heard this, so therefore bang, or my parents said this, bang.
Because it seems like things like the government are only to be thought about when you're an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to think about
true.
any of this until you hit 18 and now you're an adult. Now you can vote about what might happen to you in the future. But hang on.
For real.
What about that pre-point before, while I'm at school, and then I hit 16 or 17, and now I'm like, well, I can't vote on this country until I hit 18.
How
is that fair?
Yeah. For real.
And then it makes you wonder why there's so much, I don't know, rebellion maybe from the young people, because their voices aren't being heard or listened to.
I think, you know, the problem that we've had for young people even from when we were younger, is how do we get young people engaged, and are we doing enough to get young people engaged? And just as we talked about the last topic, right? In my opinion, young people being involved in negative things is not new.
No, it's not new.
It's just magnified a lot more due to the era that we live in. Due to the time and the climate that we're living in. And I think, you know, it's the same thing with, like, you know, young people in politics, in a sense. There's always been a disconnect. However, if we can't, we need to contribute more ways to get them involved and to bridge that gap, you know?
Because, I don't know, kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of like this disconnect that you have between politics and children, or young people rather. It's like, it's reflected in the government that we have today. Because if more people had the knowledge, I knew people who, in the referendum, they didn't vote. I had a friend who voted, but he voted for us to leave because he wanted to throw a spanner into the works. I was just like, what? Or like, people who didn't vote were as bad as the people who voted for us to leave because
for real.
You didn't vote. And then it's like, I don't know. If you don't vote, then you have no say on what happens. Don't have opinion about what happened, what is happening if you didn't vote for it.
I also thought referendum was a really interesting time to see the disconnect between
100%
younger people and older people, because and it's not a blanket statement, obviously, but you can say that a lot of older people voted to leave.
Yeah.
A lot of young people voted to stay. The young people, to an extent, seeing it from our future point of view, like we understand living and working in the EU is a lot more
because it's the only world we know, to be honest.
And older people are like, no, we remember a time when we didn't have this and we want to go back to that now. Do you know what I mean? So it's like two completely different perspectives, both valid, both like needed, but two completely different perspectives, and that was a really interesting kind of view to look at it from as well.
It was. But like, all I wanted to was it. So Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn has said that he will be backing giving people the final say on Brexit. Because have you heard about this whole? They want to have they're trying to do an early election.
Okay.
That's what the whole thing is about. They're trying to have a new election, so if they have this whole new election, then someone else will be in power and someone else will be able to do something about Brexit before it even happens.
Yeah. The question is whether Theresa May's dance moves in Africa would have helped her or...
It's true.
But you know what? I think a lot of time has gone on since referendum, and the idea of having an election now to kind of see where we're at, see if this is what we want, is I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable, but then it just looks so bad on us, like you said, as a country, because, and especially right now with this whole Brexit thing, we're on a spotlight to the whole entire world.
Gosh,
Like, all these countries are making a no deal with us for a lot, and it's like things like this. A lot of people didn't think about how this would affect you if we actually do leave.
Yeah.
So all these people who voted for us to leave, but then they enjoy the niceties of the UK. Most of the things that we have that we enjoy in the UK are from other countries. Like alcohol, food, everything. And you think that by us leaving, we're going to be able to keep those things. There's things like medical companies are stockpiling medicines because they don't know how the no deal is going to affect them and how we're going to be able to get medicines from other countries.
That's really interesting.
You know, it's mad.
Yeah.
So I understand the need for another recall on a vote, but if we do,
it's just going to be so much problems though.
The UK is going to be mad. They're going to have one vote and then people are going to be like, okay, cool, we've had this decision, a couple of mums are going to die down, we've had new information, let's have another vote.
It can cause a lot of problems if there's another vote,
or it could even happen with the election, you know. Labour have won. Let's have a recall vote because I'm not sure if we voted the right people in.
Or if we voted the right people to lead us into that change.
You know.
Yeah. For real.
It's crazy. It's absolutely mad. The next point I had was about. So you know about the new film Captain Marvel?
I haven't heard of that. No, I don't know.
So Captain Marvel is a female lead. That's who Captain Marvel is. But it's played by Brie Larson. And basically, there's an issue at the moment. Well, I don't think it's an issue, but people are throwing up hissy fit about the fact that in her opening trailer or on her, the cinema poster or whatever, she's not smiling. And apparently there's this whole thing in theatre with females that don't smile and the reasons why they should be smiling. But then if you look at any male person in that position, if they're in a superhero role, they're not smiling and no one has a problem with it. So like I found it funny the way how they re-mocked up popular superhero advert covers with the superhero instead of the normally, you know, like here.
Yeah.
He's not smiling, but on this one, he's smiling. How weird does it look? So, like, you know, there's the normal one of Iron Man, he's not smiling, but then on this one, he's got this big grin. And it affects the whole thing, you know?
You're all right.
I don't think it makes much of a difference.
You know what, it doesn't at all.
It doesn't, however, it shouldn't matter.
The idea to just pick at something so small.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because it's a different type of superhero lead. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is like the phrase that women should smile more, or I want her to smile, isn't just an oblique suggestion from well-invented, invented men. It might be in some cases, but